All right. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. I'm Brother Kadalgo Bar Yahweh, with service of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai branch out here in Wisconsin. All right, first I'm going to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harach Kodash. All praise to Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the elder apostle, elder bishops of Great Millstone Street Well. Peace and blessings to hopeful elect. Shalom, shalom. So, as you see, the topic is wisdom, and I'm gonna bring out a little few paragraphs out of the Bible maps and charts, Nelson's complete book, right? Which this is good edifying, good reference source for a book, right? Thomas Nelson, right? So we're gonna bring out some wisdom literature, man. All right, through the Spirit. All right. First, let's get Proverbs 1:7. It's gonna be a real quick hit, a little willingness edifying to the elect out there. Give me 1 second, Slunky. All right, Proverbs. All right. In the book of Proverbs, you know what I'm saying, just give you a heads up on it. The book of Proverbs is a collection of moral and religious teachings in the form of sayings and proverbs. Much of it has to do with practical, everyday concerns. It begins with the reminder that to have knowledge, you must first have reverence for the Lord. Right? So that's all I'm going to say. All right, and this is Proverbs 1:7. To have knowledge, you must first have reverence for the Lord. Right? Stupid people have no respect for wisdom. Straight to the point. Let me say that again. Verse 7. So verse 7 over. And this is advice to the young out there as well. And to the elderly. To have knowledge, you must first have reverence for the Lord. Stupid people have... Salakia. Stupid people have no respect for wisdom and refuse to learn. Right? So, stupid people don't have respect for wisdom, and they refuse to learn. They refuse to respect the Lord, right? So let's get let me bring out this paragraph, Slankia. This is again wisdom literature. It says the wisdom literature of the Old Testament consists of the books of Job, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, as well as some of the Psalms. The Hebrew word for wisdom is translated skill for living. Right, and another word for skill for living could be your knowledge, your experience, right? Let me see, your perception. I want to say your intellect, if I'm not mistaken, right? Which I'm gonna bring out that definition in English for wisdom here in a little bit. So just bear with me. It says because the Jews regarded wisdom in a very practical practical terms. This literature provided guidance for moral behavior and everyday living. Hebrew wisdom literature, as distinguished from the wisdom writings of other cultures, was centered on Yahweh. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. And they go back straight to the King James, right? That's Proverbs 1:7. It was like, in contrast, Egyptian wisdom, for example, focused on the wisdom of the sages and on disciplining oneself to accept the trials of life. Right? Then he bring out an aspect of that the Hamites use. The three broad categories of wisdom literature is in the Old Testament are popular proverbs that express practical truths, riddles or parables with a spiritual meaning, and the discussions of the problems of life. Right? And ain't that what we going through in the spirit? We using the wisdom of the fear of the Lord to basically practice our truth, and in the riddles and the parables that we're learning from Yahweh Shem Shai, give us a spiritual understanding of what's to come, and discussions of the problems of life, and discussions of the morality of this realm that we're living in, because the morality of this realm is not spiritual. It's physical, and it's evil, for better words. So I wanted to get that. Let me see. All right. Let me bring out some more. The book of Proverbs provides wise sayings and observations designed to develop proper attitudes and godly behavior. Ecclesiastes offers a philosophical discussion of the emptiness of the life without Yahweh. All right, let's get a precept on that. I want to go. Let's start at verse Ecclesiastes 1, and let's start at verse 2. It is useless, said the philosopher. Life is useless, all useless. You spend your life working, laboring, and what do you have to show for it? Generations come and generations go, but the world stays just the same. This is out of the Good News translations. The sun still rises and it still goes down, going wearily back to where it must start all over again. So basically, life is one revolving circle, for better words. But you can get a glimpse of that if you ever watched the movie Lion King. The circle of life is Mufasa was always saying to Simba. Let me keep going. The wind blows south and the wind blows north, round and back again. Every river flows into the sea, but the sea is not yet full. The water returns to where the rivers began. The starts all over again. Everything leads to weariness. A weariness too great for words. Our eyes be done again. There is nothing new in the whole world. Right? This is a revolving circle, right? Look, they say here is something new, but no, it has all happened before, long before we were born. No one remembers what has happened in the past, and no one in days to come will remember what happens between now and then. I, the philosopher, have been king over Israel and Jerusalem. Right, this is a philosopher giving his experience, right? His life experience, his knowledge and stuff, right? His wisdom, right? I determined that I would examine and study all the things that are done in this world. Yahweh have laid a miserable fate upon us. I have seen everything done in this world, and I tell you, it is all useless. So if everything we doing on this side, if it ain't for the reverence of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, it's useless, man. It's a revolving, useless circle if we ain't referencing. And I'm talking to you Israelites. If we're not referencing the Almighty power, man, right? In the name of His only begotten Son, right? It says life is useless, right? Basically saying life is useless without our power in the name of His only begotten Son, man, right? Oh, Salakia. What I said I was gonna go to. All right, Khan. That's what I wanted to get to. All right, Khan. So the philosopher experiences, what he experiences is basically a life basically without the Lord is useless, man. Right? That's what he's expressing, man. Right? That he's unseen everything, man. But without the Lord, it was useless, man. Right? So let's go back to this on Nelson's complete book and Bible maps and charts. We in wisdom literature. And it says Job is a classic examination of the problems of evil and human suffering. Its conclusion is that people can understand only what Yahweh chooses to reveal to them. So we can't go no further than what the Lord wants us to go, man. Right? The Lord is always working, no matter if people believe in Him or not. No matter, the Lord's wisdom is always around, man. Right? Especially for us Israelites, man. Right? You can't be no greater than the elders that the Lord has set up, man. right? You can't be no greater than what the Lord has given you spiritually to produce or grow more in, for better words, right? We always got to be using wisdom with everything. We got elders for a reason. Hey, Bruce Lee had Yip Man for a reason. Yip Man had another teacher for a reason. That teacher had another teacher for a reason, right? And guess what? They reverenced their teachers, and when they became masters, they taught other students. And it's always a revolving door. You can't be greater than the elders, and you ain't gonna be in the Lord ain't gonna make you no less than what He got you in your lot to be already, man. Right? What He got you experiencing already, man. Because if you was in the seat of the elders, you would have been experienced the 30 plus years or the 20 plus years of teaching this truth. And the elders say they still learning, right? So we can't puff up ourselves being younger in this truth, man. To you brothers out there that do that, right? Your wisdom is what the Lord has gave you to understand, right? Not no bug that stuff that you just gleaned on your own understanding, but some stuff that the Lord gave the elders you don't have. That's why you just now, and that's including myself first and foremost. That's why we're just now coming into the truth. Because if we had it, the Lord would have brought us into the truth already. I mean, some of us brothers only been in for about 5 years. Some of you brothers only been in for 2, and y'all think y'all elders now. That ain't wisdom. That ain't Sophia, man. Right? You only been in on this walk in this journey for 2 or 3 years. In its truth, your experience is way less than elders that's been in 20 plus years or 30 plus years. Right? It's a different walk. And that's why we gotta reverence. Another word for reverence is respect. We gotta respect our elders that the Lord got is ahead of us. Paul and them had to do it. Guess what? Yahushua did it. All the minor and major prophets of the scriptures, they had elders, and they reverenced their elders. They learned from their elders, right? So again, wisdom for us on this side is if we reverence the Lord, man. Without the Lord, as I just brought out in Ecclesiastes, without the Lord being with you, it's useless. Life is useless, man. Life is like a void. So let's go back to Proverbs. Let me see if I can get more on this. Only what Yahweh chooses to reveal to them. Job 28:20 through 28. Many of the Psalms, including chapter 1, 4, 10, 14, 18, 19, 37, 49, 73, 90, and 112 are regarded as wisdom literature, right? That's in the book of Psalms. Chapter 1, which is dudes and provide wisdom when it says, walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, if I'm not mistaken, because the next chapter over in Psalms 2, it says, right on down to Psalms 12, if I'm not mistaken, kiss the son, lest he be angry, right? So Psalms chapter 1, 4, 10, 14, 18, 19, 37, 49, 73, 90, and 112 provide wisdom literature, right? Knowledge for you to grow thereby in the spirit, right? Let me keep going. Are regarded as wisdom literature. A recurring theme in these psalms is the problem of the prosperity of the wicked, while the godly suffer. Yeah, that's true. But the wise psalmist often returns to this refrain: For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. Psalms 37, right? Solomon, David's successor as king of Israel, was well known for his wisdom. Yahweh appeared to Solomon in a dream at the beginning of his reign and asked him what gift he wished above all else. And you read that in 1 Kings chapter 3. Solomon chose wisdom. Solomon apparently wrote many of the sayings in the book of Proverbs. See that? And if I'm not mistaken, in my other swords, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure, just to prove, because I like to always keep filtering. Salakia.
He was seen of about 500 brethren at once, but nobody ever saw him, right? Wait a minute, how was he able to choose his disciples who became apostles? Nobody ever
All
saw
right,
him.
Salaki, that was a blood brother. I'm
How
off your
was
eyes.
Judas Iscariot able to betray him by a kiss?
All right,
Nobody
it's
ever
not
saw
this.
him.
Give me 1 second, Yasha Allah. Wow, because I'm up in my 1611's probably said it.
He betrayed him by a kiss. And Judas Iscariot said, now keep in mind, Judas Iscariot didn't want to betray Yahushua, but he was set up to. Man's going to the Lord. You know what proved he didn't want to betray Yahushua? Because after the deed was done, Judas Iscariot felt so bad he went and hung himself. Okay? So again, after that, 1 Corinthians 15 and 6. So anytime a wacky tax preacher tells you, well, no, nobody ever saw him, just bring this scripture out. 1 Corinthians 15 and 6. After that, he was seen of about 500
All right, Khan. Yeah,
and of
it says the Proverbs of Solomon, right?
some of foreigners.
The son of David, king of Israel. So yeah, this to filter out. I like to go filter. Just to prove a point. So yeah, and then also you have wisdom of Solomon and Apocrypha, right? So
So,
most of this wisdom um that we're learning is what Solomon chose that he wanted from the Lord, right? And these are good spiritual food to eat up, man. Especially when we definitely when you come and you're new in this truth and you trying to fully humble yourself down, because wisdom, knowledge do puff it up. But when you really trying to humble yourself down, really trying to read between the lines on why the Lord only give us a certain role or a certain walk, and why we only came into the truth at a certain time, then you'll start to understand why this wisdom literature is going to be took in a certain way. You can't take a lot of this in right away, because you'll puff yourself up and then you'll be missing key pointers to why you got to walk humbly, right? And in the book of Psalms, it got a lot of parables, and it got a lot of moral, spiritual ways of life that you should understand,
but you can't show me
right?
one scripture where it shows that
Salakia. So again, this is just wisdom literature. I want to say wisdom literature part 1, Lord willing. I'll make another one. Um,
do not have sex. That's why
but again, wisdom, what I'm saying, is skill for living, and I'm gonna get that after I get this Greek Strong's right for the word wisdom.
that for what the Lord
Strong's G 4678, Sophia.
Sophia, part of speech, feminine noun, etymology Greek 4680.
in the likeness of sinful flesh, as we're all in the likeness of sinful flesh.
Greek 4680, wisdom, higher or lower, worldly or spiritual. Because you got a lot of jakes that go for the worldly wisdom instead of the spiritual wisdom, right? The biblical usage. But the scriptures for us so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and American Seminole Indian, the scriptures are basic instructions before leaving Earth, man, right? For us, they're outlines and guidelines for us to follow, right? The Lord outlines and guidelines, right? The biblical usage, wisdom, broad and full of intelligence, right? Hey, to have wisdom, you have intelligence. Especially, you either gonna have worldly intelligence or you're gonna have spiritual intelligence, right?
At this point,
Used of a knowledge of very diverse matters, the wisdom which belongs to man, worldly wisdom. It's got spec the very knowledge of the things human and divine acquired by acuteness and experience and summed up in maxims and proverbs. The science and learning. Then they got the act of interpreting dreams and always giving the sages advice. Let me see. I'm just looking. All right, Khan. This is beautiful. The knowledge and practice of the requisites. Lord will I said that right. The requisites for godly and upright living. Right? And guess what? This wisdom is coming from Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, right? So it's the supreme intelligence such as belongs to Yahweh, right? Right? This is a good one too. The wisdom of Yahweh as invents in forming and executing counsels in the formation and government of the world and the scriptures. Right? So the Lord is telling us how to walk spiritually while we living in a wicked world, right? While we living in a wicked realm. He's giving us spiritual wisdom, giving us wisdom out of his being, right? So that we can understand, right? And get a reward for following instruction. Lord willing, we probably elect number, man. But yeah, Sophia is wisdom. That's what we call her. Right? Sophia. Right? So let's get wisdom definition, and then I'm gonna close it. I didn't think I was gonna be going this long. Right?
Wisdom.
Wisdom is a noun. The quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. The quality of being wise. Right? So when you got wisdom, you got experience. Right? Some of you brothers, and I'm gonna put it plain and simple. Some of us brothers got under 10 years experience in its truth. Other brothers got 20 years and under experience in its truth. Other brothers got 30 plus, So it's a difference. It's certain amount of wisdom that we take on being only a couple years in its truth, and a certain amount of wisdom the big bros take on being longer than us in its truth, and a certain amount of wisdom the elders take on being in the truth longer than all of us, man. So it's a different wisdom. Is the instructions, like the elders know more instructions than we would know, even though we all on the same walk, we all going to the same goal, right? But they giving us the instructions because they already got it, and they moving on to the next. Let's say they moving on to the next quiz, the next test, for better words, right? Like in the football, or let's say weightlifting competition, when you in the specific weight range, right? If you competing, when you lifting weights, like for instance, I was in the weight range 140 and below, and I was stronger than everybody in my weight class. So you got basically, for instance, like, I had more strength physically than these men that was in my weight class, right? That's how it is with the wisdom of the Lord. The elders have more wisdom because they've been in this thing longer. They've been working out longer than you, for better words. So in the weight competition, when I was in football and stuff back in years ago, I was 140 below weight class. And in my weight class, people were bench pressing like 95 pounds. And 95 pounds for me in that weight class was more like a warm-up weight. And that's how it is, and it's true. Some brothers' lot is I can't say greater, but their lot is to take in more wisdom because they've been in longer. And your lot, since you just came in or only been in for a couple years, is to take in the wisdom that the Lord got set in front of you. Stop trying to you in algebra, right? You in algebra, and I'm just gonna use a physical realm type talk. You in algebra trying to learn pre-calculus, right? Or you in foundation 2 trying to learn algebra 2, right? Stop that, man. You can't get whatever you think out of the scriptures and the elders ain't never thought about this. Oh man, ain't nobody ever brought this video out. That's not what this truth is about, man. That's a worldly way of thinking. Like this is a gimmick. It's a worldly way of thinking that, man. Right? The elders are the elders for a reason. And not all elders are righteous elders either. Right? Which through the Spirit we should be able to discern out which elders are. Right? Because as I said before, I don't have to keep repeating myself, but I always say in my videos who I rock with. Right? And to best believe, before I was rocking with them, and when I first came to the truth, I seen other elders as well. But they didn't have it. So my experience, right? My wisdom in its truth only been in 5 years. Right? Through the Spirit, it was just through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah that I came upon Great Millstone. And that the other counts to me, in my spirit, it didn't bear witness. So, on just again, everybody got a different spiritual walk or different wisdom to take upon. But at the same time, Wisdom is wisdom. Sophia is Sophia. She do not change, man. Right? Some have more of a greater understanding on Sophia, and the others have the understanding that the Lord has already set before them. You can't have, hey, it's like you eating your plate of food, and I'm just gonna end it after this. You eating your plate of food, you haven't even finished your plate of food, and you already going for seconds, man. Right? So, through the Spirit, man, you brothers take on the wisdom that you're supposed to take on. Quit trying to understand things that's too far exceeding for us to understand. If you haven't heard the elders break it down, don't try to go into it and break it down, because that'll be leaning on your own understanding. All right? If you haven't took in the walk that the elders have did before you was even born, don't even try to break nothing down that you ain't heard them break down. Because apparently they haven't broke it down for a reason. Apparently the Lord ain't put it on their spirit to go into that topic yet. Right? So we need to stop what my parents used to say, having you being too damn big for your britches, as they used to say. Right? We need to stop that in the spirit and start really humbling ourselves down, man. Start really following the chain of command, because that's literally what it is. It's a chain of command. Right? And they be like, oh, this is not a military. This is the Lord's military, man. Right? This is the Lord's military. If you start spiritually thinking that, then you'll start spiritually getting a better understanding on that wisdom of the Lord, to know where your part in his army to play, man. If you a damn captain, quit talking to the colonels like you up there with them. You can't do that. You got somebody over you. And guess what? The general that's over the captain got somebody over them. And that's the army talk. So, through the Spirit, Lord willing, this is edifying. Our moral behavior is supposed to be a certain way when we taking upon the wisdom of the Lord. Right? We supposed to have a spiritual sense on on what we're doing on this side, man. Right? If we say we in this truth, man. Right? So, hey, Lord willing, man, just edifying again. I ain't want to keep too long. I just want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harach Wadash. All praise to Heavenly Father, who the Word can calls God, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the Word can call Jesus Christ, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the elder apostle, elder bishops of great millstones to well. Peace and blessings to hopeful elect. I'm your brother Gadal Gabar Yahweh, with service of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, branch out here in Wisconsin. Hey, shalom, shalom. Hope y'all have a Shara Shabbat Shalom. Y'all have a Tawab Yawam. Shalom, shalom. Wa ba ba ba.